humbled by our selection as recipients of the 47th Annual Polsky Award. I would like to thank John and Margaret and others on the staff of the Akron Community Foundation who helped pull this together. I would like to thank everybody in attendance today, particularly those people who came with some effort, like my daughter Ann, and her husband Jonathan, and their two daughters, Daphne and Gretchen, who came a long way from California against my recommendation. But then kids don't always follow their parents, as I'm sure you all know, whether you're a kid or a parent. On a gloomy November day in 1969, I left Chicago on a very good job on the one-month anniversary of my 27th birthday. Very good job that didn't even exist. It was actually being created for me. But I left anyway, a dumb thing to do. And you know, it's a thread here of nonconformity. Chicago to Akron, yuck. What could there possibly be in Akron? But they of course, they didn't have a clue how things would work out. Well, I never doubted I'd be successful, and the magnitude of my success was incomprehensible to me at that time. I asked my kids at one time if they knew why they didn't have more siblings. I was concerned about my ability to financially take care of these kids I was producing in this world. Now, of course, it's ludicrous, but don't worry, I'm not in the mode to produce any more kids either. When Mark was presented with his sister Ann, she's so little, she can't run, she can't catch, she can't do anything. Fast forward to grandfather status. People would tell me repeatedly, congratulations, aren't you excited about seeing another grandkid? Why congratulations, I didn't do anything. And, I'm not excited about seeing the baby. And actually, after this got a little embarrassing when I kept saying things like that, I decided to protect myself by saying, hey, I'm excited about starting a trust fund for the kids. And they have the long run of compounding, and it goes from day zero. And if you don't understand compounding, see Mark after the event. There was that time, of course, when my parents took me when I was 3 months to see, quote, his family. My father's grandfather was on the roof pounding shingles. And my mother asked him to come down and see the baby, and his response was, I've already seen a baby. It may be a bit of a stretch, but, you know, I'll make the analogy. He was trying to protect me by putting shingles over the roof, and I was trying to protect my grandkids by starting a trust fund for them to protect them in the future. Grandfather, however, does have 2 jobs. First is to provide financial aid. I don't know about the problems with tuition loans. Students with $100,000 in tuition debt, $26,000 a year. A client came into our office recently and said that he'd gotten a call the night before from our grandson that had just graduated from college, and called to say, hey, Grandpa, thanks for enabling me to graduate from college debt-free. What happened is the grandfather started a mutual fund account for the kid when he was born at $1,000, and they made a policy of adding $100 a month every month. And that was enough to do the trick. Now, don't try this at home. This idea doesn't work on any other funds except Oak Mutual Funds. I don't care what Schwab tells you. When my first grandchild was on the way, I called my attorney, Mr. Briggs, and asked him if I could set up a trust account for the child. And he said I had to wait till the baby was born. And then I just get it started as early as I could so I could get the long run of compounding. And once again, if you don't understand, compounding, see Mark after the dinner. The second job a grandfather has is to teach the kids how to eat ice cream, preferably out of the carton and maybe even only with 1 spoon. But this drives the parents nuts. You know, my grandparents and grandkids get along so well. That's because they have a common enemy, the parents. They remind them about the guy that died at age 96, and it said in his obituary, his cause for death was the fact that his grandfather, when he was a boy, had given him double dosage of ice cream and chocolate cake for breakfast. Amazon has made it very easy to give gifts to grandchildren. You don't have to wait for birthdays, and you don't have to wait for Christmas. Anytime you feel like it, things you can send easily are things like stuffed animals, pretzels, popcorn, and goodies. Amazon will be happy to deliver any goodie you want to send them, any place you want to send it. So Mark calls me one day and says, "Hey, Dad, there's a big box on my front door. What do you know about it?" I plead ignorance, of course. And finally, I confess it must be the Panda Fairy. What's the Panda Fairy? I said he's a good friend of the Tooth Fairy and also a good friend of the Mutual Fund Fairy. He dropped off a 6-foot panda. Do you remember your first flashlight and the mysteries you discovered with that flashlight? Make sure your grandkids don't miss that joy. Themselves, right, girls from California. And don't forget about the kid down the block who lost his father in the service of the country. You can also sign up for Amazon Smile and designate Oak Clinic as the beneficiary. Hate to be blunt, state the obvious, but you're not going to be around forever. You won't be able to send gifts forever. Of course, you can always give money. It's always the right size, it's the right color, and nobody's ever returned it yet. You're not only giving the kids a gift, you're showing them the pleasure of giving a gift. And hopefully they return this experience and do the same thing when they're in the grandfather mode. And don't forget the ice cream, right, Benny? One of the tests I apply to myself when I receive a request for money for a gift or for a loan is ask myself, would I rather die with an extra $1,000 in my account or have the pleasure of seeing this person have the money for whatever their purpose is? Also learned that if someone asks for $1,000, they probably need $1,500, so that you can imagine the shock on their face when they ask for $1,000, I give them $1,500. I don't ever keep records of what I give the people. I tell them to keep the records and pay me back when it's convenient. Some of the people I loan money to pay it back almost with a religious fervor. Some people don't pay me back, but we'll just say they're behind in their payments, and that's okay. People say, why do you keep giving money away and lend the money if you're not getting paid back? Because if I don't, then good people in the future won't get the benefit of my loans and my gifts. But it drives my lawyer, my accountant nuts. Please try to resuscitate them in the back of the room right now. My other bit of advice is to make sure you know where your money's going when you're gone. The only way to know for sure where your money's going is to give it away while you're alive. It makes you feel good about it. Remember, the jerks waiting with anticipation and expectation can't get it, including the government, our favorite recipients of our money. Since the time I was diagnosed with MS in 1973, I've tried to give cash gifts anonymously to families devastated financially by MS. Once I was told about a kid that had saved his mother. Does this mean we get to go to the mall after all? I do it myself. If they don't grab you, you're dead. These are small dollar amounts. You can have a major impact at the right time. I just say, but most of us have lost perspective and don't need the extra $100 to make a big difference to somebody else. Much has been said about the transfer of wealth in the next generation, from this generation to the next generation. But little is talked about transfer to foundations. I believe in the aggregate, all the smaller foundations like Akron Community Foundation and the Jim and Vanita Foundation will have a dramatic impact on the future of philanthropy and the good that we spread to countless people, and yes, even in little old Akron, Ohio. There is no way Vanita and I could have accomplished this by ourselves. To suggest that it's possible is ludicrous. Literally hundreds of people, relatives, co-workers, and clients have enabled us to make these major gifts. Were it not for those people, we could have accomplished nothing.